Hat, sunglasses, Pepsi, notes, sources, thick skin, check. You already know. Let's go. Welcome to Golden Blue today, everybody. This is a college football channel. So if you like college football, hit the like and subscribe button. It's that simple. Also, send gear to represent your team and be a part of my background forever. All you have to do is send it to P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina 29657. We all do things that we regret, especially when we're mad. That's when we're the most vulnerable, and that's when we make our biggest mistakes. And today, I feel like I made a big mistake. West Virginia gets beat by TCU in a crazy game, and I was so mad that at the end of the game, I cut up 2 of my West Virginia hats. I shouldn't have done that. I admit it, shouldn't have done that. I apologize to the West Virginia fan base, to my subscribers. That was not something that I'm proud of, and I shouldn't have done it. They were old hats. I didn't wear them anymore, but still, I mean, you know, I could have sent that to a West Virginia subscriber who doesn't have a hat, you know, stuff like that. So I shouldn't have done that, and I can admit that I shouldn't have done it. But this game was absolutely crazy. West Virginia, of course, their defense looked bad again. To put it into perspective, TCU won 41-31, right? We had a 71-yard touchdown pass thrown against us. We had a 55-yard touchdown pass thrown against us. We had a 51-yard touchdown run ran on us. We had a 30-yard touchdown run ran against us. And a 29-yard touchdown pass passed against us. 5 big plays that cost us the game. Overall, TCU didn't have an amazing game. I mean, they did put up over 400 yards, but it was basically because of those 5 plays. I mean, explosive plays are what killed West Virginia in this game. And West Virginia did have several opportunities to win this game. I did complain about the first half reffing. I mean, it was absolutely terrible. They missed an obvious late hit on TCU. They missed an obvious pass interference on TCU. And they missed a holding call in West Virginia that did not happen. Wyatt Millen literally blocked his dude into the ground. That was not holding. And, of course, the fumble. That was not a fumble. His arm was going forward. He did not, no. He did not lose possession before the arm went forward. And that's why the ball went 5 yards. His arm was going forward. Of course, TCU scores. But West Virginia still had opportunities after that. Then we had a 4th and goal. First, before that, a 3rd and goal. We throw a fade, incomplete. 4th and goal, we go for it, throw a fade, incomplete. It made absolutely no sense. And I don't understand the play calling. With 4 minutes left to go in the game, we kicked an onside kick. But since we stalled with 3 minutes left in the game, we decided to punt it. The decision-making makes absolutely no sense. I thought the first half play calling for West Virginia was pretty good. Really, really good. It's what kept us in the game. In the second half, it went back to Texas Tech play calling. The play calling that we did against Texas Tech, too conservative, didn't work. I don't understand it. It seemed like that the halftime adjustment was for the worse as far as offense goes. And of course our defense can't stop anything. We can't stop anything, nothing. If it's anything less than 4th and 10, they're going to go for it. I was surprised it was a 4th and 7 and TCU had it on their own 25, something like that. I was actually surprised that they didn't go for it. That's how bad our defense is. But big changes need to happen at West Virginia. They're going to lose a lot of support. I will say this. Totally shocked. 50,000 people showed up to this game to watch TCU at West Virginia. That shocks me. That absolutely shocks me. Round of applause for the Mountaineer fans that came up and supported West Virginia. That's the way to show your support. But I do think there needs to be massive changes. The defensive coordinator, Jordan Leslie, he needs to go. The head coach, Neil Brown, he needs to go. And if Shane Lyons don't get on board with these firings, then he needs to go. We need to clean house. Now, maybe Graham Harrell needs to go, but he's only really had 2 bad games as far as play calling. So I would give him a pass. Maybe you keep him and just bring in a better head coach and a better defensive coordinator. But, man, major changes, because if you don't make changes, that means you're not willing to make those changes to better the program, and you're going to lose fan support. And think about this, guys. If the boosters do start pulling that money the revenue that keeps funding the football program, does the football program start losing its value? And does West Virginia as a program start losing value to the Big 12? And then is West Virginia at risk of being demoted to a lower conference? I don't think we are. I really don't. But at the same time, I don't want to risk it. I mean, who wants to risk that? Not me. Absolutely not. So we need to start right now, start making changes because those boosters will start pulling the money. Even if the fans keep supporting, and yes, they came and supported, I do expect an attendance drop in the next game. But man, 50,000, that's pretty good. Good job, guys. I'm sure the players appreciate that. So you don't want to punch the players. So I'm okay with the 50,000 people that showed up. And you don't want to hurt our recruiting for the future. You don't want to get to where it's going to be tough to succeed in the future. But this is where the boosters come into play. Start pulling your money and say, hey, no, we're not supporting this. You need to make major changes if you want us to keep supporting you. And to be honest with you, if you watch the entire game, I don't understand how we didn't get beat by more than 10 points. And really the only reason we got beat by 10 points was because of 20-second touchdown pass. There were 20 seconds left in the game, and Max Duggan threw that 29-yard touchdown pass. So if that didn't happen, they would have only won by 3. So the game was close. Credit to the offense for trying to keep us in the game, but the play calling kind of doomed us in the second half. So it was a train wreck. I have no confidence whenever I watch these games. This is what saddens me. It's not losing these games. It's watching these games and not caring as much. Not having hope. Oh, man, it's 4th down. They're going to go for it and get it. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Oh, man, we barely missed an interception opportunity. Well, since you missed it, they scored a touchdown. With this defense, it's feast or famine. They are so close to getting interceptions. They are so close to recovering fumbles. They are so close to turning people over. And TCU did have 2 turnovers, but it was really more of their mistakes. West Virginia is so close to forcing mistakes, but the thing is, when they don't get those turnovers, it leads to a score. It's either turn them over or get a score. You can't stop anybody. We have to learn to stop drives, to stall drives, to force these teams to go into 3 and outs. That's what it comes down to. And JT Daniels, I feel bad for him. I would not be surprised if he transferred out of West Virginia in his final season. He might stay, who knows. There's no way he's going to the NFL after this season. He has not had a good season at all. So he's not going to the NFL. I have very high confidence that he's not going to the NFL. So his 2 choices are stay at West Virginia for 1 more year or transfer to another program for his last season. We'll see what happens. But the offense, it's really not on JT Daniels. He did make some mistakes. He does look mortal. But this was play calling. It goes back to the Texas Tech game. Terrible play calling. And we had good play calling in the first half, but it went back to bad play calling. Too conservative. I don't know what they're thinking. The only time you go conservative, maybe, is if you're up by 4 touchdowns and it's the 4th quarter. Even then, it could risk it because I've seen some great comebacks in the 4th quarter. But you don't go conservative if you're down, ever. By 3, 10, 20, 50, you never go conservative. You don't go conservative if you're ahead by a little bit. The only time you go conservative is if you have a massive lead in garbage time. That's it. So our play calling has got to get way better. Our defense, there's no hope for our defense. There's no hope, guys. I'm just telling you right now. Whenever I watch a game, I'm like, they're going to score. Hopefully we can answer. That's how I watch these games from now on. We have great athletes. Here's the thing. We have great athletes both on offense and defense. But it looks like you're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, and it's not working. We don't know really what kind of offense we want to run. Our defense is all over the place. Some guys don't even know where they're supposed to be. Communication is a big issue. So we need a coach that knows exactly what type of offense he wants to run, exactly what type of defense he wants to run, recruit specifically for those offenses, for those defenses, and have success. Rich Rod is a great example of that. He knew that he wanted to run a spread RPO with Pat White, so what did he recruit? He recruited great running backs that can be patient, not just blast through holes, and whenever a hole's not there, they're doomed for a loss. No, they're patient, find the holes, and hit the holes. And a quarterback who, yes, could pass, but who could also pull it and run, a.k.a. Pat White. And that's why that offense was so successful. That's why that offense was so successful at Clemson as well. You have to have an offense that you want to run, and then you recruit for that offense. It's like we go out and recruit great. Don't get me wrong, Neil Brown recruits at a high level for West Virginia, but it's like he's trying to fit them in spots that they don't fit in. And as you can see, the product on the field doesn't turn out very well. So West Virginia moves to 3-5. We can only afford one more loss if we want to get to a bowl. If we miss a bowl, how in the world do you keep Neal Brown? You shouldn't. That would be crazy. Even if we barely make a bowl, 6-6, it's time for him to go. We are not seeing progression. And Neal Brown said, hey, if I'm not getting the job done, if I don't think I can right the ship, then I will resign. So we'll see if he's a man of his word, because that's the exact situation we're looking in. Y'all let me know in the comments section. Number 1, do you think West Virginia can make it to a bowl? And number 2, do you think Neal Brown is still the head coach of West Virginia in 2023? That's all I got for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.